So the editor-in-chief of Mother Jones caught some backlash because she tweeted about how millennials aren't excited about Hillary, and she said this, quote, "I have never hated millennials more." So she said this while also showing like, oh, look, the numbers show millennials aren't really on board with Hillary Clinton. Well, in a step, a writer named Kevin Drum from Mother Jones to defend his boss, as he hilariously says, he's not really defending her all that much. He wrote a piece titled, "Don't Hate Millennials, Save It for Bernie Sanders." Okay, this dialogue is now prevalent among Democratic partisan loyalist hacks. This is what they're talking about nowadays. So Hillary Clinton is only leading in the average of polls by 1.5 points right now. There's a recent poll, LA Times, has Trump up nationally 6 points. He's winning in Ohio and Florida right now. So they have to explain that, and God forbid they actually say Hillary's poor numbers are Hillary's fault. No. So what do you do? Scapegoat, point the finger elsewhere, blame everybody else but her. And that's what they do. So Hillary's been running further and further right, literally touting the endorsement of John Negroponte, a fucking neocon, a horrific neocon. Everybody knows how her love and adoration for war criminal Henry Kissinger. But instead of saying, Hillary, terrible idea, don't do that, you're going to lose actual liberal supporters, what do? Turn it around, blame the liberal supporters. So you voters are failing the Democratic politician. It's not that the Democratic politician is failing you. Unbelievable. So, what does he say? Again, he's saying, no, come on, you're being too harsh. Don't hate millennials. Hate Bernie Sanders, who made it so that the millennials hate Hillary Clinton. A genius point, Kevin. So let's see what he has to say. Quote, "Here's where I part from Clara," that's the woman who said, I hate millennials right now. "I reserve most of my frustration for Bernie Sanders. He's the one who convinced these folks that Clinton was in the pocket of Wall Street. She gave a speech to Goldman Sachs. He's the one who convinced them that she was a tool of wealthy elites. She's raising money from rich people. He's the one who convinced them she was a corporate shill. She supported the TPP. He's the one who, when he finally endorsed her, did it so grudgingly that he sounded like a guy being held hostage." Okay, let's pause. First of all, that's hilarious. Yeah, he wasn't overly ecstatic about endorsing the person he just ran against and who viciously smeared him at every turn, calling his supporters Bernie bros, implying that he's sexist, just going after him in the worst imaginable ways. Now, it turns out at the end of the day, Bernie Sanders knows, hey, look, no matter how much I want it to be different, either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump is going to be president. So I have to pick between the two. I think Hillary Clinton is less bad. I think if you had an honest conversation with Bernie Sanders, he would say, yes, lesser of two evils, and they're both evil. But he didn't go out there and say that, which, by the way, I think would have been defensible if he did. No, he went out there and said, okay, yeah, Hillary's better, blah, blah, blah. But she's, you didn't fawn. You didn't fawn with gushing adoration for her and make shit up about how awesome she is, so you're a bad person. Now, so that goes after the final portion of what he said there. The first part, every criticism he had of Bernie Sanders and what he said about Hillary Clinton, did you notice something? All those things were true. Let's go through it one more time. She gave a speech to, okay, hold on, wait. He's the one who convinced these folks, talking about millennials, that Clinton was in the pocket of Wall Street. She gave a speech to Goldman Sachs. Okay, no, but she did give a speech to Goldman Sachs. She is in the pocket of Wall Street. We didn't make it up. Like, why? He says it as if it's like just him bringing it up is a refutation of it. You didn't refute dick, son. You're reiterating that which is true. She indeed did give speeches to Goldman Sachs. She indeed is not giving it to them because they love her position on abortion. Yes, it is a preemptive bribe. We have a system of legalized bribery in the United States of America. Why do you so obviously see that when it comes to Republicans, when they take Koch brothers money and Sheldon Adelson money, but you refuse to see it when it's a Democrat taking money from Wall Street? Because you're a Dem partisan hack. That's what you are. And on some level, you know that's what the fuck you are. All right, next. He's the one who convinced them she was a tool of wealthy elites. She's raising money from rich people. Yeah, she is raising money from rich people. Again, there is no debate here. That's a fact. So, between all the different ways she and her family have raised money, did you know the Clintons have raised over $3 billion from special interests in their lives? That includes the Clinton Foundation, that includes different super PACs, that includes their campaigns, that includes money directly into their own fucking pockets for speeches that they've given. $3 billion. Now, are you really insanely ignorant or stupid enough to say, oh, there's no effect of that money. She's not going to want to do favors for the people who gave her $3 billion. You can't possibly be that stupid. And then he's the one who convinced them she was a corporate shill. She supported the TPP. Okay, but again, dipshit, she did support the TPP. I'm sorry that facts are fucking inconvenient for you, but forgive us on the liberal base if she goes around... She lobbied for it 45 times, and now we're supposed to believe when she tepidly says, I guess I'm against it. We're supposed to go, okay, that's it. If you dare question that, you're wrong. No, we look at the preponderance of the evidence, and we judge her character and how often she's lied in the past, and we go, you know what? I don't fucking believe you. I don't believe you. In fact, some of her closest aides have said Terry McAuliffe said to the press at the DNC, she'll come around on TPP. That guy's really close with the Clintons. He's really close with the Clintons. Why the fuck am I supposed to believe that she wouldn't do that? Why am I supposed to believe that? There's no reason to believe that. So again, you're not making an argument. You're proving our point. He continues. He's the one who did next to nothing to get his supporters to stop booing her from the convention floor. He's the one who promised he'd campaign his heart out to defeat Donald Trump, but he has done hardly anything despite finding plenty of time to campaign against Debbie Wasserman Schultz and set up an anti-TPP movement. Pause. Okay, first of all, he didn't campaign against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I wish he did. Many people wish he did. He left Tim Canova hanging. Yes, we're angry about that. But see, in his world, you don't need facts. Just say shit. He campaigned against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Okay, but what if he didn't? He campaigned against her. No, that's not true. He hasn't campaigned for Hillary Clinton, but he has campaigned for Hillary Clinton. Okay, but he hasn't campaigned enough. So there's no winning. There's no winning. You could just make shit up and attack him no matter what. And the idea that, well, his supporters are booing Hillary from the convention floor. And that can't be because Hillary is a bad candidate and has a bad record and bad policies. No, you got to blame it on Bernie, blame it on Bernie, blame it on Bernie, blame it on Bernie. And he's angry that Bernie's still fighting TPP. That shows you all you need to know about Kevin Drum. I'm so angry. Why are you still fighting TPP instead of falling in line behind Hillary Clinton? Wait, but you're telling us Hillary's good. So if Hillary's good, then wouldn't that mean that she's against TPP and that's a noble goal anyway? But no, see, embedded in his own arguments or in admission, like, I'm really not necessarily against TPP either. Shut up and fall in line. See, he's loyal to a person over a principle. He's loyal to a person over a principle. Hillary's the end goal. Getting her in is the end all be all. That's it. Bernie's like, I'm still fighting TPP. I'm fighting the Dakota Access Pipeline. I'm fighting all these different things because I actually care about the fucking issues. He's like, how dare you just support Hillary Clinton and shut the fuck up. He says, there's a reason that very young millennials are strongly anti-Clinton, even though the same age group supported Obama energetically during his elections. Listen to this. And it's not because their policy views are very different. Oh, of course not. A small part of it is probably just that Clinton is 68 years old. Though Sanders was older. He proves his point wrong in the next sentence. What are you saying? Millennials don't like her because she's old. Okay, they supported Bernie Sanders, but whatever. You just proved your own point wrong, you idiot! Okay, no, this is the dumbest guy who considers himself a liberal on the fucking planet. What are you saying? Yeah, that's it. You got me. I don't like Hillary because she's 68. Even though I like Bernie and he's 1,012. God, this is so stupid. Part of it is probably that she isn't the inspirational speaker Obama was. Again, totally pedantic, looking down to millennials. Oh, all you care about is style and not substance. When nothing could be further from the truth, millennials overwhelmingly supported Bernie Sanders. He is nothing except substance over style. What does he say? Oh, you don't like the way Hillary speaks. That's the problem. Why don't you listen to them when they're telling you it's her policies? Okay. But most of it can be laid at the feet of Bernie Sanders. He convinced young voters that Hillary Clinton was a shifty, corrupt, lying shill who cared nothing for real progressive values, despite a literal lifetime of fighting for them. Sadly, that stuck. Let me explain something to this fucking moron. When you supported NAFTA, when you lobbied for TPP, 45 times. When you flipped to support the Colombia Free Trade Deal after you said I'm against the Colombia Free Trade Deal, and look at that, some companies in Colombia gave me money. Look at now, all of a sudden I'm for the Colombia Free Trade Deal. When you flipped your vote on single payer because you took healthcare from the industry, you were for single payer, then you're against after you get that big money. When you flip on the bankruptcy bill which biased laws in favor of corporations and against the people. And again, you took money from the institutions and then all of a sudden you flip on it. When you support deregulation and the repeal of Glass-Steagall, which led to the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession. When you support intervention in Syria. When you support intervention in Libya. When you supported the war in Iraq and were literally one of the last people to change your mind on it. People don't know this. It took until 2014 for her to finally say, Okay. When you say no negotiation with Iran against Obama, he's naive for even wanting to talk to them, and then now you have the nerve to take credit for the deal that happened because he spoke to them. When you have that track record, how dare you try to pull the wool over everybody's eyes and say, she has a literal lifetime of fighting for progressive values, but evil Bernie Sanders convinced young voters that Clinton is a shifty, corrupt, lying shill who cares nothing for real progressive values. Or maybe, just maybe, she is actually a shifty, corrupt, lying shill who cares nothing for real progressive values. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can make it up in your own mind and strawman me all you'd like, but I'm on the record, I'm clear. Just because she is a shifty, corrupt, lying shill who cares nothing for real progressive values doesn't mean Donald Trump is good, doesn't mean Donald Trump is preferable, doesn't mean Donald Trump is angelic, doesn't mean I'd prefer Donald Trump in the White House. I wouldn't for a variety of reasons I've gone over 1,000,001 times. He actually is worse. But see, you're falling into the trap of assuming because he's so bad, I will now be a partisan loyalist hack, play for Team Blue, and pretend like Hillary's never done anything wrong, and malign the integrity of the person with the most integrity in the Senate because I'm playing for Hillary Clinton's team. So you besmirch the honor and integrity of Bernie Sanders, who actually has a lifetime of fighting for progressive values, because you care more about the end goal of trying to force people to vote for Hillary Clinton by pulling the wool over their eyes. The only chance you had of getting Bernie voters to support Hillary Clinton was to be like Eminem from 8 Mile and say, here's all the things I did wrong. And Hillary had to do this too. I was wrong on all these things. Here's why I was wrong on all these things. I did terrible things. But you know what? Let me give you a coherent argument as to why I'm still better than this absolute maniac on the other side. She could have done that. She didn't do that. You could have made that argument. You didn't make that argument. Instead, you scoffed at and spit in the face of Bernie supporters and Bernie Sanders himself, and then you're going to turn around and blame it on them if/when she loses the election. It ain't our fault. It ain't Bernie Sanders' fault. It's her fault. We warned you from the beginning. It's the policies, stupid. She's wrong on the policies. She's not populist. She is corrupt. She's the most disliked Democrat. Her and Trump were tied 56% unfavorables recently. That ain't Bernie Sanders' fault. She built that. She did that. It's her record. It's her record, it's her policies, it's her campaign. You can't pawn off responsibility anymore, especially when the person you're attacking has the most liberal voting record. So you can't go out there and say, yeah, well, Hillary Clinton's liberal and has been fighting for progressive values her whole life. Look, you want me to give you something? I'll give you something. Children's health insurance program. She did a fantastic job fighting for that. There are other examples, too, of things she did well to fight for. But when you try to pretend it's all Bernie Sanders' fault and, you know, he wrongly portrayed her as these things. No, he rightly portrayed her as those things. And that's the fucking problem. That she is those things, not that he acknowledged reality.